I'm
All
safe
right.
then.
Words of wisdom from Dolly. Okay. Thank you for being here and/or for watching this on a time-lapsed YouTube video. Appreciate it. I do have a few things I want to go over, but as we progress through these things, I think it's going to be more of a Q&A type session. Hint, hint, come to the last one. You can't ask a video questions, so there you go. Did everybody here either attend or watch the video? Andy, I'm looking at you.
Watch the video.
Katie, well, you're not teaching. You're just here.
And I talked to Katie.
Yeah, okay, well, if you talk to Katie, then you're good to go. I mean,
Yeah.
Dolly snuck in and got credit for the last 5 minutes.
So I'm getting a D minus.
Yeah, you're good. You're fine. You're fine. Okay, so I'll do real quick highlights from last time. Please register. It's only $5. We need everyone to register so we can make this work. Please do watch Katie's videos. Katie's right here to me in the Brady Bunch thing. She made 20 minutes of videos broken into 6 sections. Everyone should have links to that. Evening, Tom. Good to have you here. So please do watch Katie's videos. You need a microphone. You should have a video camera of some kind, webcam, whatever it is. Test your internet, test your camera, test your microphone especially. Watch your background. I'm going to talk a little bit more about backgrounds today. I'm a little disappointed. I'm going to share my disappointment with all of you so you can imbue well, okay. So yeah, watch your background. Make sure this is crazy too much. I'm going to change it for when I actually do stuff. You are all currently bolted in as staff for starters. I don't know. Did anybody get an email? Welcome as staff. Okay, awesome, cool. So there you go. You are staff, which means that, what does it mean? I have notes here somewhere.
I can collect my paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. It double your pay. It's awesome. Yeah, we really appreciate that you're here. Okay, so so you should have received an email with instructions on how to access the system, right? Was that in there? Go here, you can see stuff. Does that sound about right? Yeah.
Well, I got a email from what's the product called? Whatever it's called.
Excel Events, yeah.
Excel Event. And I clicked it, and I got to a page that had my profile on it. Okay. It looks like you cut and pasted a picture from my social media on it or something.
Yep, pretty much. That's how this works.
That's fine.
And I'll get to that in a second. Go ahead, Tom. Do you have other point
else on it? So I'm not sure what to do from there.
Yeah. So your profile as an instructor and also as a speaker. Everyone has been bolted in as a speaker now, since you'll all be speaking, except for Katie. But Katie answers questions, so she needs to know. Right. So you're bolted in as speakers now, and as a speaker, there's a first name, last name, email, and the optional photo. And what I found in looking around is it looks a lot more inviting when you have a class, like say, I don't know, Cub Scout Science, and you have Katie's photo that says Katie's teaching it. Oh, that's awesome, Katie's teaching. So what I'm trying to do, as opposed to a generic human form silhouette, is a little bit like, well, that's weird. And most of you I know. I had a hard time finding Dolly's photo, but I got a good one from some training somewhere. And let's see, and I can go through the list. But yes, if you don't like your photo, like Tom, like he's like, that's not me. You can send me a photo, like, you know, head and shoulders basically, and then it can make it look good. Steve's looks awesomely handsome. I don't know. I think I pulled your profile from Facebook or something. So yeah, that's basically telling people who you are, and then if they have a question, they can send you a message essentially.
So in my instructor on that page, are the classes I'm instructing supposed to be on, or how does that work? How does
okay, they will. Tom has a great question, and actually, let me show you. I'll share my screen. I'll try to do exactly what Katie says and be brief. And yes, there it is. Okay, so what I have here in front of me, if I go to, this is our little dashboard, and I can go to the sessions and you can see all of the classes that we've set up. I know I'm going quickly, but I'm going to switch over here. There's a tab for sessions and a tab for speakers. And this is what I added this afternoon, is one for everybody. Look how handsome Chris is here. And Henry's got a good photo going, and Tom, there's you. I think I did pull that from Facebook. A couple folks I don't have Pat Thompson, Dr. Williams, Steve Willoughby. I had a hard time finding something. And some of them are better than others, but I did the best I could. So this is basically our cue for who you are. And then what's going to happen is, I'll do this live and in person. Why not, right? And Steve, I bolted you into the 2 classes because we exchanged information. So you know what? I'll do Tom's.
Okay.
So I'm going to edit Tom's Den Discipline class. And I go over here to speakers and I add, not Tom Osgood, Tom Crone. And boom, you show up as an instructor. You should get an email, Tom, that is like a calendar invitation in the next like 20 seconds from the tool that says, oh, by the way, you have a class at 9 a.m. on Saturday, November 11th. Saturday, November 7th. Sorry, we're not moving this thing. What's your other class, Tom? It's
the Scout, how to be whatever it's called.
Scoutmaster. What questions do you have?
That's it. That's the one.
Okay, so I'll go edit that one, and I'll add Tom as a speaker to that.
Okay.
And then you're bolted in there, and that's as easy as it is. Now the cool thing is, when I go back over to, I'm going to go pop back over to the registration page. There's so many pages here to keep track of. If I go back to the registration page, and somebody's going, okay, you know, I want to buy tickets and see what do I want. Oh, it didn't show up yet. It must take a minute, but your photo shows up here, and I think Steve Kirtland, there you are. Steve's photo shows up, and everybody's an instructor unless you have some other thing that you do for us, and it'll show up as, this is Steve, this is his instructor, and Tom, you'll show up. So that's what that's all about, and the only thing is showing who you are, what you're teaching, and then if somebody has a question, they can actually send you an email. So
now if I go into my the instructor page, my page, my classes will show up on it.
In fact, and Tom, you can test this, and that's one of the reasons why I bolted everyone in today, is if you go into, and of course my talks are going to be different than yours, Tom, and everybody else's, but if you go into your my talks, you'll see, for example, I'm signed up to teach a couple classes, and it should show right up. It should have you, and then start your talk is what you click when you are ready to go, and boom, you're on your way. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Everybody cool? So not everybody's bolted in yet. It's going to take me a while. I was going to try to do it where, like with Tom, I would send him his email of, okay, Tom, you're teaching these 2 classes at these 2 times. Here's the Google Drive link. Here's all this stuff. And it all shows up in Tom's email box with like 14 emails all at one time. But I did it today to bolt you into staff and to bolt you into speakers so that we could do an experiment if you want to today. So 4, 8, 16 people. I think we're going to be good for that. So let's get to that in a second. So Tom, does that answer your questions for now? Is that good? Thanks, awesome. Everybody else rock and roll on that? Looking okay? Ron, you feeling okay about that? You're still muted, Ron. Give me a thumbs up if you're okay. All right, awesome. Okay.
Mike, real quick. Sorry.
Go ahead, Andy.
So I'm on it right now, and all I see is select an action.
You're on it.
The events.
Why don't you share your screen with us, Andy? Because you have screen sharing ability. Ah, Steve's here.
That's what I have.
Okay. So you're on the staff page. Okay. Let me point you to.
Dolly, is that what you had to?
I'm going to post a link in the chat.
Okay.
Now that you're all staff, you should be able to get there. And Andy, I'm going to steal screen share from you if you don't mind.
No problem.
Okay. And what you should see is this. You should see the lobby if you go to that screen. And Andy, if you go to, okay, so Andy, I haven't bolted you into yours yet. Do you want me to bolt you in and see if it works?
Sure.
You're doing district chair. Let's look for chair. You have nearly 100 classes. Search is really important. There we go. Fireside chat. I love that. Okay. Andrew Danner. Okay. So that should show up relatively quickly. So in theory, Tom, Steve, and at some point Andy should be able to go over to that link that I posted in the chat, and that should take you to the lobby. And if you go to my talks, you should be able to see those things, hopefully. Everybody else, what I wanted to do as an experiment is to add everybody to a test workshop and see if everybody can get in there and we can like talk and test video and stuff like that. But
yeah, I just went over using that link, Mike, and it worked, and my photo and everything is there. It's already there.
Awesome. Okay, very good. So yeah, and if there's something that looks weird, like Andy, you get stuck in a wrong spot or something, just let me know. Email me or something. Yeah, no
I'm
worries.
on that same thing too.
Awesome.
So
okay, very good. Let's see. Another note of interest, and this comes from Steve and a couple other folks, Steve Kirtland in particular, you mentioned this today, and a couple other participants have said this, that when you're on the registration page in particular, and I'll go ahead and share again. Sorry, Katie, I'm sharing a lot here, but trying to be as succinct as possible. We put in this last paragraph here, if you can see where I'm highlighting, to kind of say, hey, here's how you register for classes. Because the first question we got is, oh my gosh, how do I register for classes? I just bought a $5 ticket and now I want to know what I'm taking. Well, the answer is the agenda. And you can go down in the agenda tab and say, oh, awesome, Steve's teaching camping with scouts. I want to do that. And you can hit register and it'll light up green. I'm not going to do it because I have to, what the heck? I'll register for Steve's class. Why not? It'll say I'm attending. And what happens is, and I think, Steve, this happened to you today, if you come back later, it like doesn't save that as you're still attending. Is that what you saw today, Steve?
Well, so actually on that screen, it did say that I was registered, but when I went to my sessions, because I wanted to, because they all slide back and forth, and I went into my sessions thinking that it would show just what I'm doing.
Oh, interesting. And it didn't show up.
It just said you didn't. I had none.
Okay, maybe there was something weird with, and it could be a couple different things. You might have gotten in there before I made you staff, and there might have been a wall, or it might be that stuff shows up there the day of. I don't know. But I could go in on the back end, and I screenshotted and shared it with Steve that he did sign up for his classes and a couple others, I assume. So if you click the register button, it does work. I promise you.
When I back to that tab, it still said registered, but I can slide horizontally everything in that time slot still. And so if I change that screen, I had to go back and find what I registered for.
Okay, so it becomes a hunt match of finding what you registered for before and not having it displayed in one simple okay, yeah. We've had a lot of questions on how do I register, where'd my registration go for classes, stuff like that. It's a little weird and clunky, I've noticed, and unfortunately that's just the case. So I wanted to make everybody aware of that. If you're not teaching, please feel free to take a class. We're here to learn, right? Yay. All that kind of good stuff. Okay. So yeah, I've added you all as staff members, and we can go and do a little test here in a little bit as an experiment.
I have a weird one.
Shoot, Katie, what do you got?
I initially did the register for classes before we were made staff. And now when I go look at the all sessions and the register, it shows I'm registered for nothing, which is not the end of the world. I could just redo it, except when I click register, it says, you have not registered for the event. You must register for the event before you can register for individual sessions.
Well, that's weird.
To register for the event.
Okay, so what give me a class example that you registered for? One of yours or a different one?
Yeah, so one of mine. So
I'll go with science.
The first session is the STEM BSA.
Okay. Yeah, is that
going through to find the name? Scouts BSA / mentoring STEM program.
You are registered for that. I see it right here.
Interesting, because it doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I have to wonder if there's two sides of the coin where it's Katie the participant versus Katie the staff member.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But you use the same email address, right? St. Katie?
As far as I know.
Yeah. Okay. Let me check. Is there any class you signed up for to participate in?
Yes. Do you want me to remember what that is off the top of my head? Do you?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to remember.
I'll go look. Hold on.
Okay. Cool. Anybody else have any interesting concerns like Katie's? Ron, is that you waving? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, just a couple of questions.
It's all good.
What am I teaching? How do I find out what I'm teaching?
Okay.
And secondly, the picture you have there is not me.
Really?
Yes.
Cool. Did I pick something? That's bizarre. Okay.
That's what I was doing when you were trying to ask me if I was ready to do whatever, and I'm still trying to figure out where I am and what I'm doing.
Where did I find that?
I don't know who that guy is.
Well, he
All right.
spelled Dolly's and my last name wrong.
You guys are so picky. Oh my gosh. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna start taking notes of stuff I
Mike,
gotta
I'm-
fix. Hang on.
I'm going to give
you.
you props. You
Okay.
spelled my first
I mean,
name right.
I'd try and help you, but I don't even know who
Well,
that guy is.
I know the Aaron name. Okay, so all right, hang on. Action items. Ron Stanky needs a, and I gotta spell Ron's last name right. Needs a correct photo. Ron, do you want to send me something, or do you
I'll
want me
try
to
and
pick?
find. I'll try and find something.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Aaron and no Google. Quiet. Aaron and Dolly. I thought I copied
O-N.
and pasted. Needs
You have an EN
correct.
in there.
Okay. Okay. I should know that by now.
It's all good. I'm more impressed that you got my first name right. So.
It's hard to forget after hearing the Aaron.
Yeah, I sound like a car with a dead battery. Yeah, a car with a dead battery. Yep. That's
Okay.
me.
Okay. So Ron needs a new photo. I just fixed spelling. Back to Katie.
So Mike, I want to mention something.
Please, Tom.
Right now, I'm in Baltimore. I'm on the East Coast
Cool.
currently. And what I did notice, which is really great, when I go in and look at classes, it does convert it to where your computer it does convert that it shows the classes
For
3
Eastern
hours
time.
later.
Well, that's fun.
So it does work.
How slick.
And it was based on where my computer is, obviously, because
Okay.
my computer is on Eastern time now. So
All
one
right.
thing to keep a note is, so if we have people from out of council or from other
And-
area codes, it will actually show up as the correct time. So a 9
And-
o'clock class shows up at noon.
And we do actually. We had somebody register from North Charleston, South Carolina.
Which it actually confused me because I was looking for my classes. I said, wait a minute, where's my 9 o'clock class? And there were
It's
no
at
classes.
noon.
There were no
Well,
classes
are
before
you
9
coming
o'clock.
back, or are you going to be in Baltimore? Because it is noon if you're going to stay there.
I'll be back. No, I'll be back.
All right.
But it was just so funny because I'm thinking, okay, well, wait a minute, where's my classes? What happened? They changed the schedule. Is the University of Scouting starting at noon now?
No, we're
Just
not
wanted to
going
bring-
to 7 p.m.
No,
It's not going to happen.
Right. I just want to bring that up that it does, it actually, the time change in the software does work.
That's pretty cool. Okay. Katie, do you have a class that you want me to look up out of curiosity?
I found the Scout Run Troop in session 2. I'm pretty sure I signed up for that one.
Scout Run Troop. All right. We have 8 registrants so far, and you are one of them, along
Okay.
with Jenny and Shannon Miller. Yeah. So that pushing the buttons works, which is good. It's just
So
getting that
Mike, I need to
feedback.
know, so as an instructor, is there a
Mhm.
way for an instructor to see who's registered for their class?
Yes, and it is definitely a way for our admin staff to pull the list for you.
Oh, but no, but as an
There
instructor,
might
I
be
can't.
there might be a way for you to do it. I don't know.
Or can I see how many are in my class at any time without asking admin staff?
So I'm doing that right now through the dashboard that is available to our admins. I don't know what you can see as a
Okay, that's
speaker.
fine. I was just curious.
Okay. If you guys do want to reach out to your class, your participants that are registered in the way that Katie said you should, and flip your class, prime them with an article, Brian on scouting or something, we're happy to do that. Pull the email list and just have it for you ready to go by Thursday or Friday or whatever. That'd be a cool thing to do. I see you're registered for my class. Looking forward to it. Go read this and we'll talk about it or whatever. That's a really fun way to do
Okay,
that.
great.
Okay. I should just made this a Q&A debugging session. I actually want to try to get something done today. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So one of the things I wanted to mention, and there's a lot that's a bit deeper into how this platform works and why we chose the particular type of interface that we chose. But fundamentally, each of your classes are going to have up to 250 people in a session. I don't think we're going to get there, but just know that you may have a whole lot of people. Interestingly, the tool says that you can only have, or it will only allow 16 attendees on camera in the, Brady Bunch style thing at a time. But now all the people that show up can speak, can unmute themselves and ask questions. They can use the chat, the Q&A that we demonstrated last time. What I don't know is if somebody unmutes and asks a question, if their video will pop up in place of somebody else's. It would be entertaining to test that, but we only have, 12 of us here this evening. So just something to keep in mind. You might have a disembodied voice asking questions. It might be that way. I don't know. I don't know how the tool works that way. Also, unfortunately, none of our classes will be recorded. I was sold a bill of goods that they said we record all the classes, and then it turns out that type of interface is not conducive, especially to what Katie recommends in terms of talking and getting feedback and the way that we usually teach classes. So we switched to what's called a workshop, where we can communicate and our participants can ask questions. And unfortunately, workshops are not recorded. So it's going to be a bit more like a regular class, where if you miss it, you missed it. Come back next year. I'm a little sad about that, but it's the way it is.
Did you guys look at all into doing something like Loom or Screencastify to make recordings?
I'm familiar with a couple of those things. I'm not going to ask instructors to do one additional thing.
Okay.
I mean, we could try, but that's a lot. And as a teacher, you're probably accustomed to that a little bit more, right? To push this
kind
button,
of what I do.
flip that switch, make sure the 4 microphones are pointed correctly, and then I have a funny feeling hi Abby, a few of our other instructors are going to have a harder time with all that. Okay. However, it might come to pass that we have a lot of our professional staffs kind of playing support roles and fielding Q&A questions and stuff on the side, like we talked about last time. And we might explore having them do something like that. I don't know. I'd rather make sure that the classes run smoothly for you all first, and then we can explore some of those things. But thank you for asking that. Okay. So does anybody want to do a test? Oh, Kara's here. Hey, Kara. Everyone's muted. It's okay. We're all saying hi. Okay, so Kara, to get you up to date really quickly, everybody has been
I've been here. I just didn't have my video on.
Okay, well now you're really here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I have a test session that I'm going to add everybody who's here as a speaker, and Steve has already been using this. So everybody's going to probably get an email that you are invited to be a speaker on test session. Please do not register for this. And if you want to come play along, you're welcome to. If you don't, if you're on a phone, if you're like, I'll figure this out later, that's okay. Let's see, Steve. Oh, I got a lot of Steve's teaching. That's awesome. Katie, do you want to participate in this? Have some fun? Sure you do, right? Oh, Katie's not a speaker. Okay. Katie, do you want me to add you as a speaker?
Which Katie are we talking about?
You, Katie.
Me, Katie, sure.
Okay. Ron, the real Ron, not the other Ron. Steve, you're already on there. Kara Kirtland and Pam doesn't have her video on, but that's okay. So you are all, I hope, added, except for Katie, very quickly. Katie, you're going to get a couple of emails.
Just got the email. It just came in.
Okay. Katie, what's your email again? Oh, there it is. K Patton. Okay. You are Dean of District Wisdom. Okay. And I'm not going to put Katie doesn't have a photo yet. Sorry. It's okay.
Well, I'm working on that video, I promise.
Why can I not add you, Katie?
I don't know.
It's weird. Speaker already exists. Okay, this is weird. Oh, you're up there. Oh, gosh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show off my video, but I'm going to share my screen real quick. And I'm going to try to walk everybody through this as needed. So that link that's at the top of the chat is the place to go. And I am going to go head down to my talks. Please feel free to join along. And at the very bottom, uh-oh, I forgot to unhide it. Sorry, I'll be right back. It's like somebody knows what he's doing, but he doesn't. Where is it? Is it hidden or unhidden? Test. Where'd it go? It's visible. Should work. It should work. My talks. Or am I not a speaker? Okay, let's try a different tactic. You go to classes, go all the way to the bottom, yes?
Yeah.
All the way to the bottom of classes. It should be set for 5 p.m. There it is. And weirdly, I can't start it.
You aren't one of the speakers.
Am I not one of this? That very well might be the case. Is anybody else in there already?
I can see it. Do you want me to hit start?
Well, yeah, except for I kind of want to participate with you guys. So okay, who was talking? Who can see it? Katie?
Katie, here.
Okay. Does anybody else see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Katie, go ahead and hit start, and I'll see if I can jump in with you guys. And so one of the things that you're going to find is I think you're going to need to shut your video off so that the Excel events, you can test your video and your audio. It can split your audio, but it cannot split your video. I'm going to see. That's dashboard. I'm going to leave my audio on over here and hopefully figure out what's going on. And last time we got some really wicked echo, so be careful about muting and unmuting everything and see what happens. Okay, sessions.
All right, I'm really a step behind here. I don't even know how to get onto the page that you're trying to click on things. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so do you? Go ahead, Andy.
Okay, question for you. So on the share screen, can I see? I didn't see what I was sharing when I clicked on it.
I think that is systemic with that tool. Did everybody else have that experience? Okay, well, Aaron, what did you experience when you use the share feature?
When I shared the video, I could see it and see everybody across the bottom. When I shared my screen, same thing. I could see everything.
Okay, Steve, you were shaking your head too. Did you try sharing something? Go ahead and unmute. I'm going to ask Steve Kirtland to unmute.
Sorry, I was.
There you go.
Trying to manage the feedback.
You're good.
So the video did pop up, like she said, but when I shared the screen, I didn't see within that software the screen I was sharing.
Right.
Yeah, correct. Me either.
Okay.
But I was on the second monitor.
So what I'm getting is the feedback to the presenter is a bit hit and miss. So I would definitely ask your participants, can you see what it, right? Get them and then go from there. And I found that too. I think it was Pat Anderson streamed a video when we tested it a week ago or so, a week and a half ago. And we all saw his video, but he couldn't see what he was sharing. But it's interesting that Aaron could see it. So
well, and it could be a bandwidth thing because, like I said, I'm hardwired. So
it could be. It could be. I like the idea. If anybody wants to use video and wants to use a backup for a YouTube link, don't hesitate to let me know. I'll pop it up there on the U of S page and send you a link, and that'll at least be a common denominator of you can always throw that into the chat and say, this thing isn't working, go watch this. Because everybody who's on this thing, in theory, should be able to go watch a YouTube video. Okay, so one of the things that I mentioned, and I wanted to cover this really briefly, last time we met on Tuesday, it was about virtual backgrounds. And what you probably noticed on that interface was there was no way to select a virtual background if anybody was looking for it, because they don't have it. There is a page. I'll go ahead and paste into the chat, and I will probably send out an email. This is my disappointment for the day. It's a help page for them for how do I do a virtual background. And what they're saying is go download this thing called ChromaCast, which is essentially a piece of software that takes your video input from your webcam, hijacks it, and then does the superimposition around the human form, puts what you want behind it, and then creates its own additional output that looks like a camera. It's an intermediary, if you will. I played with it today. I downloaded it, installed it. I hate it because to use anything other than the 6 or 7 that they have built in, you got to pay $30. So my recommendation, since the Scout is thrifty, is to, what I'm going to be doing, or my plan now, is to clean up the wall behind me and have a nice, simple background that's actually real. I love Pam's, by the way. Pam, that's a fantastic background. I love it. Andy, whatever you got going on there, that's virtual, right? I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean,
it is. It's okay. I'll come up with something.
It is possible to do it. It's clunky. It's not phoning home to China or anything like that and selling your soul or your data, as far as I can tell. And it is possible to do it. It's just I'm not going to shell out $30 to put a pretty picture that says "Grit starts here" behind me, as much as Chris Bartell would love that. So I'm sorry that virtual backgrounds aren't as yay panacea as they. Oh, see, Katie's got something going. That's cool. And I know that's something that Katie mentioned in one of her videos.
This is the ChromaCam one.
Oh, you've downloaded it. And it has that's one of the free ones. And if you don't pay, you've got that watermark there, and you can't take it out or whatever. So not my favorite.
Oh, I see the watermark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, if you pay the $30, then and there's one that's actually like a forest scene that looked pretty okay, but still you've got it's not like Council or Scouty really. So okay, so we tested the streaming video. That was fun and interesting. I told you about participant muting and unmuting, and I have a few action items. We've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes. Does anybody have any other questions, open-ended, before we go for today? Was this a good test experiment? Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Mike. It was very, for those that are going to watch this on the YouTube, it was very helpful.
Andy says, show up Wednesday, we'll do this again.
Yes.
Tom, you act like you have a question over there. What do you got?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I was just saying that it will be a very entertaining video for people to watch. That's for sure. Yep.
Where did everyone go?
Where'd they go for a half hour?
Well, I did pause the middle when we were all out of Zoom, and I mean there'll probably be a few minutes of Dolly trying to get in. I'll leave it in just for entertainment value.
Yeah, she's in charge of what?
Well, and it was my fault that happened, so I'm sorry.
Dolly, at least you're not. You can say you're not in charge of IT.
And people will think.
Yeah, great question. Who here is an IT person? Raise your hand. Oh, really? Oh, okay. We got a few folks that know what they're doing.
Well, I didn't say that.
We may have to. Now,
I spell computer with a K.
Oh.
And we still love you.
Yep.
And 2 O's.
So we done? We done for the day then, Mike?
Yes. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. If you have other
Okay.
questions, I'll stick around for a few minutes. But otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video.
Well,
And
it's
if you
11. It's 11:30 for me, so you know.
All right, Tom, go to bed. Have a great
Okay.
evening.
Bye, guys.
All right, thanks,
Night.
folks.